2025 was an uneven pro wrestling year. In many ways, it was a year for the veteran, as legends dominated the headlines from polarizing farewells to world title revivals. The women often stole the show though, producing some of the year's finest work. In WWE, those triumphs shined brightly alongside increasing creative woes, while in AEW, Jon Moxley again proved himself as a horse worth backing, ultimately allowing a cowboy to be crowned king. Elsewhere, CMLL produced historic results at the box office, equally wowing global viewers with seemingly weekly thrillers. In addition, New Japan Pro Wrestling leaned on Hiroshi Tanahashi one last time, building to his 2026 farewell with a full year of marquee matches and main event efforts. While it's been a somewhat inconsistent year, it's one that already feels worth reflecting on. With that in mind, I thought it'd be fun to modernise our usual draft format, battling Adonis, Buster, Caden and Novi for the strongest representation of wrestling's most recent campaign. Our Grinners will be drafting a male wrestler, a female wrestler, a tag team, a match, and an angle or storyline, which can be anything from a single segment to a match series or individual arc. However, once a wrestler is selected in any fashion, their catalogue is then off the board entirely. Those categories can be selected in any order, depending on the Grinner's priority. But after 4 rounds, they must have a pick from the following: WWE, AEW, a Japanese promotion, and a Mexican promotion. Once those boxes are ticked, the Grinners will have a wildcard pick to close, allowing them to double up on any of the above or even look elsewhere. Some wrestlers will overlap differing promotions or require judgment calls, but the Grinners have agreed that in those cases, common sense shall prevail. Will that work? Well, we're relying on the moral compass of the LNG roster. So what's the worst that can happen?
Fucking shit. Faster.
Oh, for fuck's sakes! Run!
Go!
I work with children.
I gotta be honest, boys. I'm always hoping I don't win. I get uncomfortable with how often I win this thing. I gotta be honest with you.
Nobody got to the hot start.
Oh, no.
Dude, I'm so bad
Oh
at
my God.
this.
Look at me!
There's no real skill involved.
Caden, I'm so bad
this
at this.
There's no real skill
A
involved.
man of great confidence.
Oh, bro.
I'm doing it again, and
God.
I'm doing it again.
You motherfucker.
Garen's a
on.
piece of shit.
Oh
man.
my gosh. I
Oh,
saw you
Adonis.
in the fucking line.
Look at Adonis! Now, hold on,
Hey.
though. Remember, Novi,
Back-to-back pick, snake drop.
back-to-back pick, snake drop, brother. I got a first pick again, boys.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No way.
I
No
don't know if
way.
you saw that. Yeah, it's what's happened again, and it's sad, really.
You paid the rest.
It's actually a very interesting position I'm in here, because I have a couple weak spots.
Yeah.
One of those weak spots is Japan, not because I don't love Japanese wrestling, but because it wasn't a banner year, really, I don't think, outside of a clear exception.
Not really your forte.
But you do have the Joshi scene. You stop. You do have the Joshi scene. Now, something that isn't my forte is Lucha Libre.
True.
And so, for that reason, I'm going to lead with some Lucha Libre. I'm going to lead with my match of the year, which is controversial,
Oh, I know.
considering the options. But any time I can get some MJF on the board, I'm taking that chance. Mistico, MJF, Arena Mexico, blood, guts, emotion, passion. Jokes aside, I see a lot of shrugging and shaking the head because this was I think it's a strong way to start us off. Buster, a career performance, I think, for MJF, right?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things you can point to. The Bryan match. That's about it, actually. Those are like, I'm kidding. Sorry. But for me, it is my favorite match performance of all time. He's like, I think you tweeted about it where he's just so in his element. Like, he's feeling the crowd in the moment and all that stuff. It makes for one of my favorite matches of the year, for sure.
Absolutely. And what an atmosphere, too. Caden Lee, I saw a lot of frustration on your face there, mate. A lot of frustration.
Yeah. that was my plan. I am also not very well versed in the world of Lucha Libre, so I was going to take that one early, and messed up my entire board. So now I have to completely reset my goals.
I thought you thought of every outcome.
Yeah, every
I thought of one specific outcome in which I got. I would have been I could have been literally any outcome as long as I got that first. And now that I didn't get that first, I now have
big if.
I thought I was safe.
Imagine Caden rocking up to the NBA draft, like just, oh man, I got nothing. Yeah. Assume we were gonna get the first pick. What happened? Adonis, was this high on your board too?
Yeah, this was in my I think it was in my top 3 to pick. Career match for Max. The sight of Mistico bleeding in Arena Mexico, especially because blood in Arena Mexico is not really a sight anymore, is just super cool. The crowd is as hot as it is for any match. It's just the ace, baby. The ace of CMLL doing his thing, taking care of the invader, taking care of business. It's just beautiful wrestling. Yeah.
Absolutely. Novi, as someone as well versed in Lucha Libre as you are, I'm sure you're a lot more confident right now.
I'm feeling so good, honestly. Yeah. This doesn't affect my board at all.
I got that sense. I just saw how calm you were, in the fire there. Good stuff. That's right. I'm kicking us off. Mistico and MJF, one of my favorite matches of the year. An Arena Mexico classic. Let's get us rolling here. Buster, you're up, mate.
I'm immediately going to take my wrestler. It shouldn't really be a surprise. He was number 1 in the LNG 50. I'm going to take Bandido.
Bad guy.
Easily the best year of his career so far. He was my wrestler of the year above Hangman and Mox, funnily enough. Just a straight up banner year. He had all the Bandido stuff as well, which is now off the board. Get trolled.
Yeah, I mean, he does take a lot with it.
Oh, yeah.
And not just that, but for those of our less, experienced Lucha Libre fans, he gave you some outlets in that regard too, because he was a route. Yeah. So you have some options here, Buster. You have some options. You can look at that as your AEW pick, or you look at that as your pick from Mexico.
Interesting how you say that.
Well, how did I say it?
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, there you go. So I consider. Novi, Bandido has been an absolute treat to watch, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's one of the best wrestlers in the world, if not the best. It's kind of like a breakout year returning from that injury that kept him out for so long. He comes back. He just looks like the star everyone thought he would be and thought he could be. I'd look at him win some titles, world championships very soon.
Yep, certainly still has the Ring of Honor title, of course.
Of course, yeah.
And it should be said, some of those matches, you guys were in attendance for one of them, I know. The Bandido match the Hechicero match after that.
Yeah.
Takeshita match, the one you guys saw. So he's had an incredible year. Caden Lee, I'm going to presume another big name off your big board has been taken.
Yeah. As Buster did that, I was looking to see, okay, what could I replace as my match in Mexico? And I was going to choose a match that Bandido had in Mexico. So that kind of messed me up. But you know what? Yep. There's another guy you had that match with that I can pivot to now. So I'll be okay.
Oh, little preview perhaps with the pick ahead. All right, well, what I was going to pitch it to Adonis, but it's not. I'm excited now. Caden Lee, you could see the intensity on Caden Lee's face there as he pivoted. He's ready. The hair is down. Center part still rocking. Caden, where we going next?
I'm going to Mexico. I'm going to stay there. I want to make sure I get a pick that I like before before y'all take me out. And I'm going to tag team, and I'm taking the All Sky team combination of Mascara Dorada and Neon.
There you go. Tag team category is one I think we're all a little worried about. There's a couple names we're looking at, and I think Caden, I actually got to say, I think Caden's made a nice pivot there, to be honest, boys. Very nice pivot. Be honest, Buster, are you surprised that Caden Lee made such a just sharp move there in the fire?
No, I think it's a smart strategy. However, I do call into question if he's ever actually watched him wrestle.
I have.
All right. I was just wondering.
He's a confident young man. Adonis, tag team, is that a department you're worried about right now?
I'm not gonna lie, they were one of the only. I only have 4 teams written. They were one of the 4, so it's gonna get real ugly.
Oh dear,
it's gonna get real ugly real quick.
Pressure's on, brother. Pressure is on.
A few moments later.
Adonis, you're up.
Yeah, so I'm gonna stick with. I was originally gonna go with my match first, but I think I could get it later. So I'm just gonna go with my wrestler, my male wrestler, and I'm gonna stay in CMLL. And I'm taking Blue Panther. I'm gonna go Blue Panther.
Oh my!
Interesting. I like it.
This guy's 64, 65 years old, and I mean his output this year is as impressive as anybody in the world. He had the Hechicero match to start the year in January. That was excellent. He had the pair match with Ultimo Guerrero this year, the one where he even won the MLW. I think it was middleweight belt. It's one of the MLW belts. They have like a million of them, so I remember exactly. The second Lee Moriarty match that he had in the States, I thought was really, really good, and he had a couple of really nice Arena Mexico tags as well. I think more so for me, it's a guy that CMLL was a company that I wasn't really too invested in last year, but I would watch his stuff with Zack Sabre Jr. and obviously the Bryan Danielson match that he had last year. And it made me want to at least keep tabs on him. And to see a guy who's been wrestling for 3 decades to still be, producing quality work. It's not like he's just going out there and just sort of phoning it in and not really being able to move. Like he's doing dives and fucking Hurricane Ranas and superplexes and shit. It's really fucking impressive. And I mean, he's one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, and he's still going strong. So I'm pretty happy with this pick. I'm glad I got him.
I gotta be honest. I know we're competing with each other, but it's a great pick. But it's also a really cool pick, if we're being honest.
It is, yeah.
To start your 2025 representation with a legend of that scale, saying he's 60s. Every time I watch him, we covered all his matches on Actual Wrestling Talk. It's like you can't fathom his age, can you? It's actually like
It's unbelievable.
And not in like a patronizing, he's good for his age. Like he's still just really fucking good.
Yeah, he's just
he's sincerely good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's like one of the best in the world still.
Yeah. So it's a very strong pick. Buster, are you slightly jealous of that? I actually am a little bit. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I am. I'm afraid. I'm sad I wasn't as cool enough, or I guess ballsy enough as well to take that, because it's an understated year from Blue Panther, but still really good.
The question is, you know what they're saying on ESPN? Did he reach? That's the question.
Reese, I need medical help. The look of shock on your face. Oh my God.
Did he reach?
I think the answer is almost certainly but
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing.
But he stayed true to himself.
This isn't a linear draft, though, right? With CMLL, clearly there's a play here. Clearly, we're seeing it already. People are trying to get that part of their checklist.
Yeah.
Adonis got that done, and he did it in style. And now we head to our friend Novi for a double pick.
Double.
I'm very intrigued by this.
Double. The Blue Panther pick is actually very alarming, because that was where I was going to pivot to Mexico, to be honest with you. So I'm just going to have to do some business here. I'm going to have to pick my male wrestler, and it's going to be Hechicero, who is still all over CMLL, even though he works a lot of AEW dates. He's still very good. He's got matches with Bandido in CMLL that are very celebrated. So I think it's a solid pick out of Mexico. If I'm going to have to go anywhere, I think it's rock solid.
Rock solid indeed. Hechicero, Caden, has been a really cool story over the last couple of years. Of after years of being a very, very polished pro, has emerged as like a sort of global attraction. Feels strong, but because he has his own style, he is kind of an attraction, right? He's a singular force in the scene. Caden, this is a good pick, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a great pick, especially with some big names in Mexico off the board right now. And look, he's an attraction. He does the
That's true.
Yeah, for sure.
No doubt.
There's something that happens with Caden when he does that, and he would never admit it. He is immensely confident in his ability to replicate Hechicero.
Well, he's done it before.
But you can see in his face, he feels so certain he's doing it right. Like you can just see it in his eyes. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. He's thrilled about it. He's certainly, again, we see more kind of CMLL in round 1, but Adonis, in terms of just bell to bell, you can't go wrong with Hechicero, right?
I mean, we mentioned the Bandido match earlier. He had a match at, I believe it was Battle in the Valley this year with Zack Sabre Jr. That's one of the most underrated of the entire year. Hechicero is, it gets mentioned a lot, technical wrestling these days. He's one of the few guys that does it in a kind of unique way, in the way that he gets to his holds and keeps them on. And he's just effortlessly cool. I mean, he does the hand motion, which I will not attempt to replicate because I do not support Don Callis, unlike Caden Lee, who does heavily. But I just, he's fucking awesome, dude. It's Hechicero. You can never go wrong.
Absolutely. Novi, second half of your double pick. Boss, where you going?
There's a lot of options here. Board's wide open, I think, at this point, considering I got the Mexico thing off my back because I was scared. I'm very scared.
I got the Mexico thing off my back.
Very scared, bro. It's dangerous out here. You know what I mean? But I have to
God.
play. I have to play business here. I'm gonna pick a match, and I'm picking Moxley and Hangman from All In Texas. It just means a lot to me. Obviously, me and Bus were there in the crowd. Jumping up and down, celebrating at the finish. It was also just a fantastic match.
Let's fucking go! That's fucking right! My fucking cowboy! Yeah!
Maybe it's a little bit of a reach because AEW is a very broad category to have, but I don't care. I really love the match. I love the moment. It's very special.
I don't think it's a reach at all.
I don't think it's a reach. Yeah,
No.
It's not a reach.
part of that is not only is it a great match, a classic match. Think about what you take off the board with that pick.
Yeah.
Two of the leading candidates for Wrestler of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
Two of the I mean,
Maybe
There's
the
a couple-
strongest.
there's a couple angles and storylines in there, but like you take that off, all of those off the board completely.
All of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how many matches go along with them too? I mean, some of
Right.
Moxley's stuff in the second half of the year, some of
Hangman
Hangman
and
stuff.
Hangman Ospreay,
Hangman and Ospreay.
which is my match of the year.
My match of the year too. But you went with the pick that's,
Marks.
I mean, it's a very worthy runner-up to that for Hangman, and is one you were in attendance for. Buster, you were right there with him, mate. What a moment, right?
Yeah, it's probably the most animated I've ever been at a wrestling event. I was legitimately screaming upside down, or what the fuck, jumping up, jumping up and
Screaming
down,
upside down.
jumping up and down and screaming, going, "Yes!" It was a hell of an experience. Awesome match.
What did you? How was you screaming, Buster? One more time. was no of you screaming the same way? I presume differently. I presume.
No, it was-
just
it
a
was-
little different. It's more like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Or
good
something like
scream.
that. A little more
Good
visceral.
scream.
Yeah.
Caden, you were there too. You were trying to steal a chair, I believe, at the time of the finish. But seriously, what a one of the greatest moments in AEW history, right? Legitimately.
Yeah. Trying to is the incorrect word. I did steal that chair. I'm very proud of myself. Yeah, that match was incredible. Getting to be there. I was row 3 for it, ringside. One of the most special experiences of my wrestling fandom that I'll just never forget how I felt in that moment. It's like you have Darby coming down from the roof, and I lost my mind. There's a lot of things in that match that made me lose my mind. Seeing Darby start rappelling hunched over, godly.
Dude, I was thinking about this the other day. I don't know if in my adult life, if there's ever been a more hopeful period of my life than Hangman winning, Superman,
Maybe that's the real punk rock.
in one battle after another.
Be small beers.
All three of those are
Oh, what a
3 months in a
what a
row.
stretch.
Yeah, dude,
What
3
a
months in a row is maybe the world's okay. It's not that way anymore, but
Yeah.
but
But you had that.
it was a
stretch.
good
Oh, yeah.
it was a good stretch.
It was a nice little
Um,
stretch. Superman, yeah, because Superman was the same weekend, I think. So
Was it really? It was. You're
it
right.
was. It was.
Yeah,
I
saw it the
saw
next
it.
weekend.
It was
Yeah.
the same. It was that Friday. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Wow.
saw it 2 days before the show.
Caden,
Yes.
watch it with a Superman talk. I see you're starting to rev up over there, right?
I'm
We're,
getting
do-
excited.
we're going to do
Yo.
the upload where you review Superman. I told you. Just give it time.
I
I'm
got
working
it.
on it.
It's the Blu-ray sitting right behind me.
Yeah, I'm working on the thumbnail. Seriously though, Adonis, obviously this match goes off the board, as we said, a lot goes with it. John Moxley, one of the more interesting stories of the year, in that he did a 180 within the year, and so much so that he closed it out feeling like the best wrestler in wrestling, the best wrestler on the planet
In the
at the end of
world.
the year. There. Yeah, I mean, closing out with that Fletcher match in particular. What a strange year to kind of conclude, to summarize, right, Adonis?
Well, it's insane to think that this is the same guy that had the Adam Copeland and Source Strickland match to start the year. And I mean, it's not even just the pay-per-view matches. I mean, he's been wrestling every week on TV for what feels like from July onwards. And I mean, he's had the stuff with Roderick Strong. He's had the C2 run that was incredibly strong. The Claudio match was a personal favorite of mine from the tournament. And to see a guy in John Moxley who, for a while, I mean, this decade prior to that initial run to start the year, I mean, he was one of the wrestlers of the decade, right? And then obviously he had the start of the year that he had, but to see him come alive and to see the way that match was built to, it felt like an outlier in the sense of AEW kind of had a little bit of a rocky start to the year, but that match felt like what the company can be at its absolute best. And Hangman represented all of the sort of qualms that the audience had with the company and everything that was going to go right. it's the sort of, it gets compared to a lot, but it is the Mania 40 in the sense of everything just was right. For one moment, it all was right. Not a single thing was wrong. Bryan Danielson came out in a goddamn Blue Panther mask, you know, like it was awesome, dude. It's an awesome match, awesome moment.
That was a cheap plug for your first pick, but I respect it. With that in mind, Adonis, we're sticking with you here. Your second pick.
Yeah, so I was between my angle and my match. It involves the same person, but I'm going to go with the angle because I have more options for my match. I'm going to take the Cena heel turn at Elimination Chamber. I think it's just the heel run itself was sucked, but like on the night, seeing John Cena and Dwayne Johnson side by side as Cena did the one thing that he hadn't done in 20 years, it was incredible. And I think too, what gets lost in that is I think he's had kind of a really bad year, but Cody Rhodes was like genuinely incredible in that segment, just getting his ass kicked and like reaching out to the fans, and he bladed in that. And Cena was vicious. Rock was hilarious and also terrifying at the same time. How a man dressed like a Calvin Klein ad can instill that much fear in you is beyond me. It's one of those moments where like, obviously the follow-up kind of sucks, but in the moment you think, wow, like it's his last year and he's going to turn heel. And you think about all these exciting things that he could have done. And you think about his cadence too. I think what goes really lost in that is his facial expressions in the moment, how lifeless and militant he feels. As an angle itself, it's one of the best I think they've ever done. And so he was also involved in the match I was going to take, but I think for me personally, angles this year have been kind of lackluster, and I think that was a real big bright spot. So I'm going to go with the Cena heel turn.
Yeah, the follow-up will always be, controversial and infamous. But I remember us watching that together as a family, and it was like, it felt like a happening.
And Angle's so good, it almost got Khalid to watch the World Wrestling Federation.
Yeah, which is,
it's
the highest praise of all.
Genuinely.
Yeah.
It's almost on the level of getting Shoot to watch, which is...
It was sensational. It was sensational, every piece of it. It was the thing that every wrestling fan had considered that option, because there wasn't too many options they could take, really, with the way that Dwayne had set it up. But every time we talked about it or suggested it, it came with that kind of, they won't actually do that, though, right? It's the vibe. And, look, I think Adonis taking Cena off the board it feels right.
Yeah.
Cena is an interesting part of the year, obviously, because he's the biggest story of the year, right? And that's been for better at times, that's been for worse at other times. His retirement has kind of defined WWE's year in every which way. He's had some matches that people loved. He's had some moments that were pretty moving and powerful. And he's had a lot of creative that left people kind of going, is this a joke? And that in some ways feels indicative of the year surrounding him. So fitting he be on the board, fitting Adonis take him, and I think probably with the right pick, And a year without too many memorable, shocking angles, the heel turn feels like a good place to go. So I like the pick. Caden Lee, where are we off to next?
Yeah, this one's a little rough. I was considering going to that angle to get that off the board, because there are there's a lot of stories I like this year. Honestly, most of them got taken off the board with Jon Moxley losing that there. So now I gotta play a little strategic here. I don't know why I'm being laughed at. I gotta play a little strategic. What did I do?
Novi did a fucking L on his forehead like he was 16 years old.
All right. Well, now I got to pivot a little bit. Now I'm going to go ahead and take a match. So I'm going to go to AEW, go to Revolution 2025, Staples Center, whatever it's called, Crypto.com Arena.
There you go.
I'm taking the Hollywood ending Mariah May versus Toni Storm. That match is not very long, but it is incredible.
Yep.
They finished that feud in the best possible way. A feud that I know a lot of us were kind of begging to end. I think Novi on that pre-show said,
it's wrong.
Novi went off on that match.
Your reasoning for this is wrong. It's wrong.
It feels venomous, but it's a great pick.
It is a good.
The match is fantastic.
Oh, the match is one of the best matches of the year.
Yeah, the match is incredible. It's in my top 5 of the year. And so when I was kind of looking at it, there were a few Moxley and Hangman matches that involved both those guys. So I would have picked ahead. So I'm taking this one, but this one is still it's the last one I had on my list that I was okay taking before I was going to pivot somewhere else for AEW.
The other thing with this one too, there's a lot of great action, especially AEW have a lot of big booming, thrillers. This is different. Like you mentioned the runtime, but also the vibe and the tone of the match and some of the violence and the way it's presented. Adonis, this is a worthy pick, I think, for Caden here.
Oh yeah, it's the career match for both ladies. It is one of the most, even for AEW, that kind of gets extreme and violent. It feels really non-AEW. It kind of feels like its own separate thing. Like it is so violent, but also like not afraid to be that violent. Like these two ladies are covered in blood. Like 5 minutes in, Toni Storm is wrapping her hands in glass and like they're duking up. It is one of the more striking visuals of the year. And the closing shot, obviously, with the end on the Titantron and both ladies on the stage area. It's one of the best produced matches of the year. It's one of the most harrowing matches of the year, honestly, for how bloody it is. And it stands out because it's such a unique match, especially stateside. I think it's remained the test of time. And honestly, probably my favorite women's match in company history overall, to be honest.
Yeah, it's right there for me with Chris and Willow. They'd be very close.
Yeah, those are the two.
Yeah.
This was a big, kind of moment in time for the division, but I think, Buster, it's worth for a moment here celebrating Toni Storm. With obviously other stuff goes along with her, right? She had some really strong stuff surrounding that. That was the crown jewel, but I think there was some really good stuff to accompany it. This was a big year for Toni Storm really announcing herself as one of the top stars in the whole company.
Yeah, I remember like the kind of vibe that maybe not but I was certainly on was just putting the title back on her. It felt like it was kind of treading water. But I said this before, but as the reign continued, it just kept justifying itself, and she as a star kept justifying herself, like her place on the card, all of that kind of stuff, or justifying having that title again. She is, I said it on a Collision stream, probably my favorite wrestler right now, just to watch. And she's fantastic.
She is one of the things I loved about this match. Yes, it had that violence that Adonis spoke about, but it wasn't afraid to be theatrical. And that was, I think, important considering what the build was, right?
Yeah.
And the influences of the whole thing. It did a really nice job walking a tightrope between, yes, it had the gore, but it also had a flair for theatrics and was kind of fun. And even silly would be the wrong word, but like, it wasn't afraid to be kind of glossy, I guess, would be the way I would put it. So that was very impressive, and a match I think will live long in the memory. And I honestly, whatever anyone thinks of Mariah May's WWE run so far, we haven't seen a lot of it, we're being honest, but I think it's really cool that was like the end, right? I love
it's
that.
old
That's
school.
really old
She
school.
left the territory.
Exactly. Yeah,
Left
it's
the
really
territory.
cool. So I dig that, and it adds some mystique to the whole thing. Great pick, Caden Lee. Buster, you're up, mate.
I'm going to go to Mexico. I'm not going to stay there like Caden Lee. However, I'm going to take my tag team. I'm going to take Galeon Fantasma. I'm going to take Defunto and Zandakon Jr. As a tag team, I do remember they had the United Empire tag earlier this year, and they had a couple tags versus Los Depredadores, I think is how you say it. My bad. That I saw. Those are the 3 matches of this team I saw this year that I liked a lot. However, this is mainly about Zandakon Jr. I'm not gonna lie. I like him a lot. He's like not old school in the way that like Blue Panther wrestles, but just a little more grounded in his style. Prada Morgan kind of wrestler. I like him a lot.
CMLL have been one of the big stories of the year. At the box office, they have been historic.
I don't know if I've seen a promotion as consistently on fire. Like, man, was New Japan like this consistent? Like, it's different because it's one building every like.
That's the
every
thing.
week,
It's hard to compare. Yeah,
it's just wild.
Really hard. It's really hard to compare. But one thing, beyond the box office, really something we focus on a lot. But obviously, it's very impressive, and it's huge for a guy like Mistico in particular. But it feels like their kind of global relevance to the hardcore fan is at a new all-time high.
Yeah.
Adonis, you mentioned your interest kind of climbing, and it's not just you. I mean, there's just an increased what's on the Friday show, what's on the Tuesday show for that matter. It's been interesting to just see it. It feels like it crept up on us a little bit. I remember hearing about the Rocky Romero matches a couple of years ago and watching some of those and going, whoa, this is... And now it just feels like everyone's locked in, everyone knows what's going on. It's been pretty cool to follow.
Yeah, no, it's really cool because on the timeline, like every Friday, you have people like tweeting out clips or asking for like, hey, how do you watch, like stuff like that. It's just really cool to see how connected everyone is to what it's honestly, to me, it feels like the one wrestling promotion this year that like most people agree on, right? Like most people are
the only
into
one, I
with
think.
CMLL. Yeah, right. Like WWE and AEW obviously have their divisiveness and all that stuff. And like New Japan obviously has like their kind of 50-50 stuff. But like every week, it is like universal. people are watching CMLL and people are enjoying CMLL. And that's just really cool because, again, it's the longest standing wrestling company in the world. It has this rich history. But at least in my fandom, it's never felt this widespread in terms of people going out of their way to watch stuff, people talking about matches days after they happen. It feels like that literally is the only company that's been consistent with all year is CMLL. The interest has stayed from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, and it's even bleeding over into 2026. And that's just really cool. I mean, Lucha Libre is the most historic form of wrestling in the entire world, so it's just really cool that it's getting the love and their roster, like Buster mentions Zandokin, their roster's it's stacked. If you really take a look at who they have and who they feature on a weekly basis, it's really, really cool.
Absolutely. And that's all well and good, but folks, it's time for the whole but double pick.
Oh, baby.
The vaunted whole but this has won many a draft previously. I think one, but in my mind, almost all of them have been won here. I'm going to head to New Japan Pro Wrestling for my wrestler. I'm taking a guy who, he missed some time, but for that little window there, he made me believe again. He had me flying the flag one more time. I'm talking about Hirooki Goto, baby. The big man is back. Getting the IWGP title early on in the year. Those matches with Zack Sabre Jr., even since returning from injury, the match with Takeshita, and more than anything, the way that he, to me, brought the style back a little bit in order for it to go forward, I was so appreciative of. I remember us watching the Yuji Nagata match together, which was like 20 minutes and was tight and focused and thoughtful. I love Goto's whole arc. I'm not super big on where New Japan's at right now, to be completely honest, and as we know, the surrounding stuff in Japan, I think you'd go Joshi before you went to like Noah or All Japan, I think.
Yeah.
But the chance to get Goto popped me, so that's where I'm going. Novi, that was a moment in time, bro. We believed. We believed again.
We believe this platform became a New Japan professional wrestling platform for a couple months because Goto ignited the spirit within us of the Lion Mark. I mean, it was just great match after great match, to be honest with you. And I feel like it's been a minute since there was really a guy to get behind in New Japan like that. His story also, like him including his kids and just being the guy that was often overshadowed by people of his generation, finally just getting that opportunity to be the guy and killing it. It's just that's professional wrestling. It's beautiful. That's the game we love.
Yes, indeed, Buster. We missed that just magic moment where we thought we were back to the promised land, didn't we?
Yeah, it was not to fucking, pull rank, but I have been a Goto fan for, since I started watching New Japan, and the whole bit for the entire time that we were doing Grabs podcast before we got to LNG, before we got to the big leagues, was when is it Goto's time? And it actually came to fruition, dude. It happened, and it was a magical experience. And then the British guy ruined it.
Don't make this about nationality, Buster. It's just, it is what it is. But you're not wrong. Goto, long time underrated, workman-like, pro wrestler, getting some shine and just proving how good he's been this whole time. And for me, being better than ever in doing so. Career best work. So happy to have him on the team. WWE is an interesting one for this game. You're not sure where you want to go necessarily. I'm going to make a pick that I think makes it harder a little bit on my cohorts. I'm going to take WWE off the board. I'm going to go to the WrestleMania match I was in attendance for. The show-stealing opener. Io, Bianca, Rhea. And with that, I take some serious star power off the board when it comes to the female talent. Unbelievable match, dude. Just a total thriller. Fireworks display, the chemistry, the timing, the offense, sensational stuff. And Adonis, I think this was, I know you loved Fiend Gate, but this was the match of the night, right?
This is the match of the weekend, dude. It is, to me, with the exception of Brett and Owen at Mania 10, it's the best Mania opener ever. It's a bolt of lightning. The match is like 15, 16 minutes long, and it's go, go, go. It's all action. I think one of the best things about the match is how it balances all three personalities. So, like, everybody's bringing something different. Rhea has this extra, Rhea has been that's a sneaky pick because Rhea, this is like the best in-ring year of her career, in my opinion. And she had such a snap and crunch to her work in this match. Io doing all of her, it's almost like a showcase match for Io, but it works in the context of she's trying to prove that she should be on this stage. And there are very few big match wrestlers that are more guaranteed in the United States than Bianca Belair. She's so calm and present in these moments, and she's always a welcome presence. The crowd was with it. The action was fast and high energy and high octane. Yeah, if I know a few people that think this is the best match of the year, and I wouldn't argue with you. It's an incredible match, and the things that you take with it, Joe, I think are going to get lost in the actual incredible match itself. But it comes with a lot of baggage. It's a very, very strong pick.
Well, to that point, I think some would be saying the right match to take was Evolution, right? With Io and Rhea. I was in attendance for this, and I preferred this slightly. They were both great.
No,
but it has to be said, we mentioned the LNG 50 earlier, Buster brought up. Io Sky's popularity among wrestling fans is just immense. But even in our small bubble, where things leaned more AEW this year, she still came in the top 3. Yeah. She's a sensation, Novi. I mean, it's incredible, her popularity with seemingly every type of wrestling fan, and obviously her work is pristine, obviously.
Yeah, she's very much a supernova. I think she's very charismatic and just draws in the most people, kids, all ages, wrestling fans. She's got that charisma about her. I'd say charisma, but like over and over again, but that's really what it is. Like her energy is infectious when she's in the ring. Like, obviously she did her dance, she did a little movement at WrestleMania that got like super popular because it's what she does. It's her personality just really exemplified. I think she's great.
She's one of the best big show workers in the world, I think. She relished that stadium spotlight. Just loved the chance to tear it down in a stadium of that size in a match of that magnitude. Bianca Belair, obviously a quiet year, right? But you're always happy to have Bianca on the team. And Rhea Ripley, maybe, most popular wrestler in the world. So I'm pretty happy with that pick, fellas, I've got to say.
Yeah.
And Adonis has convinced me it was a really especially good pick, which I appreciated. Caden, did you say it was a good pick too then?
Yeah, fantastic.
Oh, great stuff, Caden. I'm loving this. All right, so
2 hours later.
Bro, I just broke the rules.
Did you?
I just picked another match.
Wait, what?
Oh yeah, you picked
I'm sitting here like just looking at my thing, like this feels like it's not right. We just did a whole segment for nothing. I broke the rules. I'm gonna make it easy for everyone and just pick Io Sky. I don't actually take Rhea Ripley, and nor do I get Bianca Belair on my team, which I already had celebrated for. I think my mistake was I got so excited when you guys put it over that I forgot I also have to follow the rules. Which I will say though, Novi, it does feel kind of unfair I have to follow the rules because I'm the host,
Yeah, but you're also like a bad guy and obviously paid the refs off to get that first pick. So, you do need to follow the rules of the engagement, I think.
Yeah. But look, I got Io Sky. It is what it is. All
right, I'm going to pick my woman. I'm going to take Lyra Valkyria. She had a lot of good stuff with Dakota Kai earlier in the year, but especially the stuff that I actually know about is the Bayley stuff, the singles match that you told me to watch. And I never commented about it on there, but I actually did watch it. It was fucking sick. The triple threat versus Bayley and Becky's also really good, but I think she just showed out on TV a lot this year. Not that she wasn't, it wasn't obvious that she didn't have that potential, but she really met it this year, I think.
I would agree. In terms of just pure work, I think she was one of the absolute highlights of WWE's year. Men or women, I think she was sensational. Really proved herself to be a natural partner to Bayley, and they both are just great glue for the surrounding piece in the division. And sometimes you can be kind of too good for your own good in that regard, right? I think Lyra's not always going to be a creative priority because she's so good she doesn't need to be, which I think will be a frustration for her fans, and I get it, but man, is she good, Donna. She had a really good year.
She is one of the best TV workers in the entire world. It's almost, when you were going into 2025, you didn't think that Lyra's always been good, but to see her ascend to this level, Buster mentioned the 2 out of 3 falls match with Bayley. The stuff with Becky, the Backlash to Money in the Bank build was honestly probably the best WWE feud of the entire year in terms of from TV segments to promos to the actual quality of the work. Obviously, she had stuff with Dakota Kai. She had a really sick TV match with Ivy Nile in like February that nobody ever brings up. That's really good. And obviously the tag stuff. I mean, we just saw the Charlexa tag a few weeks ago that was incredibly strong. One of the best TV matches of the entire year. And so to see somebody from NXT who, you know, the NXT to main roster pipeline usually historically does not have the greatest success rate, unfortunately, to see her flourish in the way that she has been really, really cool. And I hope that only continues in 2026 because she's awesome.
Absolutely, she is. Another one who did tremendously on LNG 50. Great pick, Caden Lee.
Yeah, Joe. You initially wiped this pick out when you messed up and took the triple threat, but it's gone now. I'm going to take it. Give me Rhea Bloody Ripley as my women's wrestler. She had a very good 2025. I still think like in the ring, they're not reaching the potential that they could with her.
I agree.
She is absolutely a superstar. She's
special. Yeah.
Yes, she is a special talent. And I just wish that like she was allowed to wrestle a little more. Like I think if this was like pre-2020 WWE with like competent booking, which wasn't even there, but like with the way of like how stars were constantly on television wrestling, I think she would be able to have like at least have the opportunity to wrestle matches more and potentially get more in that women's wrestler of the year conversation that some other people can do. But yeah, she still had a great year. The WrestleMania triple threat is fantastic. I loved that first EO match from March. And then she has the Asuka match a few months ago too, where you didn't know how Asuka was going to look after the injury. And then them two came together and had a really nice match there. So yeah, Rhea is fantastic. I think with how great Io and Lyra were this year, she didn't get talked about as much as them when we talked about like WWE Women's Wrestlers of the Year, but she's still amazing.
Absolutely. The EO partnership, I think, allowed her to wrestle a little more, but I agree with you that if she had an opportunity, she would make a real campaign of being like one of the best, wrestlers in the world. Or I shouldn't say one of the best, I should say an award winner. I think we already agree she's one of the best they have. She had a great year. One match that, because of the finish kind of went underrated was the tag that her and Io had with Charlotte and Alexa, which was on pace to the place was losing their mind. They did a DQ finish, and a lot of time that people's memory gets dampened by that. But the match was sensational. Adonis mentioned it. We've already covered Rhea, of course, but her best year yet in ring, and I agree with Caden. She actually has even more levels to climb through. Hopefully we get in a year when we're doing this, she's like number one with a bullet because she's more than talented enough to be. Certainly, obviously, more than popular enough. So, great pick, Caden Lee. Adonis, back to you.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with my women's wrestler, and I'm going to take Mercedes Moné. I think, you can make what you want about her segments and stuff, but just as an actual in-ring wrestler, I mean, she's right back in form this year. I think the Jamie Hayter match at Double or Nothing is one of the most underrated of the entire year. Those two just beat the shit out of each other, and it's an awesome match. I was there for the Chris Statlander match at Full Gear, which I really, really adore, even though the crowd was – we were tired, unfortunately. I thought the Red Velvet match at the last Ring of Honor show was I could not believe how good that match was, legitimately. I was really, really taken aback by how – authentically sloppy, but also really hard hitting it was. The Persephone performance, I think at CMLL, I think that was one of her strongest performances as an actual heel. The Athena match on TV was awesome, and it was cool to see that match actually happen. It's a match that's been talked about for a long time. One of my more quiet gems of the year on TV, she had a match with Billy Starks that I really, really liked. I'm really high on Billy Starks, and I thought that was Billy's real chance outside of the Athena stuff to show what she can be. And Mercedes is really good at elevating people. And so I think as just an actual in-ring worker, Mercedes has been one of the strongest all year, and I'm happy to have her on my board.
Yeah, I agree completely. She's in some ways a victim of her own high standards in that whether it be build or placement on cards, sometimes her bigger matches, you kind of go, it was really good. We know it could have been even better. I don't really feel that way about the Statlander match, right? It was so deep in the show. The crowd was exhausted. But when you go through that, it's she still just by force of nature and just talent builds such a compelling case and catalog. In terms of depth, she's, I think, clearly the one seed in the States. I mean, I personally think she's the best in the States historically in terms of women's wrestling. But just this year, she was here, there, and everywhere, and she had so many matches of note. And one of the things with Mercedes that's special is she's able to show different sides to her game depending on where she's at and what she's doing. I think the Persephone performance is distinctly different to the Red Velvet one, right? Mm-hmm. Certainly there are elements of the AEW presentation you wish were tighter, you wish were more refined. But at the end of the day, Novi, the bell rings, and it's always a pleasure to watch her wrestle.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely criticisms to be, levied about how we get to the matches, but once the bell rings, like you said, it's just she has the chance to steal any show that she's on. She elevates everyone she's in the ring with, and sometimes it's even to a detriment because she's just so willing to make someone else look great. She does this a lot of her in her Rev Pro bookings. I noticed she just puts a lot of people over. She gives them the best match of their career, most likely. And looks really fucking cool doing it, should be said. Gear this year, all-timer, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Yep, I tend to agree. And, with EO off the board, I thought Mercedes was probably the natural 2 seed there. Caden went with Rhea, which is a fair pick. But the women's wrestling, I mean, it was a huge part of this year, Buster. For like every other week, no matter wherever things are at, it was like the women are killing it right now. Even if they aren't getting the creative support always, their work is just terrific.
Yeah, it's been probably what I've enjoyed the most this year. I mean, just evidence in me prepping for this, and I have like a gajillion women. Not that I don't have a lot of guys in here, but like way more women. Just the consistency across all women's divisions is much greater in terms of even the people like lower in the division are still kicking ass.
Absolutely. Tremendous. Okay. Novi, double pick.
Double pick time. I still have both. I have 2 categories left on the board. I have my women's wrestler and tag team. I think I'll just start with the women's wrestler. I'm going to go with Saya Kamatani. I know there's been a lot of people who soured on her year as of late. I think the run has been lasting a long time. But when we're talking like coolest wrestlers in the world, got to be in the discussion. I think some of her matches, especially from earlier this year, that I tuned in for were all very, very good. She's kind of led Stardom during a time in Japan, it's very tumultuous, and giving them consistent houses and consistent draws. And I think that should be celebrated and should be noted as we head into another year of the Phoenix Queen's reign.
Absolutely. One of the big stories of her year, of course, Buster, was just what she meant business-wise.
Yeah, as Novi said, it's a very tumultuous time in Japan, so houses aren't necessarily guaranteed. But with Saya Kamatani, she's been able to be a pretty consistent draw for them.
Yeah, Saya Kamatani winning the Tokyo Sports MVP award. Big thing for her, man. Proud of her. She deserves it.
Tokyo Sports MVP.
Tokyo Sports. Here,
pitch me Adonis.
I'm gonna DM it to you.
She also won the Tokyo Sports MVP, which is a pretty wild honor. Absolutely. So yeah, very fitting pick. Novi, second half of your double pick.
So I brought this up in an earlier broadcast today, and I'd like to re-enter into this conversation. I want to look towards the women's tag teams in the WWE for my final pick until we get to the wild card round. I want to pick Raquel and Liv/Roxanne. I think I get both.
You know what, Novi? I've had such a great time.
Yeah?
I clear it, especially after I broke the rules. You're doing
Let's
it, bro.
go. Yeah. Let's go. That's beautiful.
What I love about it is, I think because Liv missed time, she would go undrafted. And considering how good she was when she was healthy, I think that would be wrong. So I like that she's getting
awesome
on
this year, bro.
Dude, she had a great year when she was healthy.
Incredible when she was the first half of her year. Her even singles, obviously I'm talking tag stuff, but singles Liv Morgan was whoa. She was hitting hard. She was having very standout matches on the TV, on the papes. It was notable how much she had improved, even just from last year. And then I look towards the other half of that, Roxanne, who's coming up from NXT, still finding her way on the main roster, but stands out and looks like a star in her place. Fits right in without an issue. And then, of course, the other half of the team, Raquel. We talk about some wrestlers from the past and from today who, if they were given a tag team, they'd be perfect. They'd be slotted in just right. Raquel is that kind of wrestler. She's slotted in just right. Sure, her work works best in this role, and she's really had a standout year, which I think a lot of people would have doubted before, but it's impressive.
She actually was quietly a really cool story this year, and you see her kind of find her groove. And it wasn't, something that kind of, I think, frustrated a bit with it. It felt like she was struggling to do exactly that. I remember she came back at Bad Blood 2024, and the angle just went wrong, which that stuff happens, but watching her find confidence and find a groove was tremendous. So very happy for her. I think a fitting pick, Novi, for your tag team. Adonis, what are you taking next?
So I'm gonna go with my tag team, and I'm gonna go to AEW again, and I'm gonna go with Jet Speed. An absolute spark plug of a signing. They remind me of how my New York Knicks picked up great bench pieces, and now we're with the best team in the league. Fuck you, Denver. And so
Uncalled
gotta
for.
get that in there. Yeah. Well, it's all right. But no, seriously, I think one of the really cool stories of the year is just how much Kevin Knight and Speedball have taken to a more national stage. I mean, obviously Speedball's been doing TV for a while, but it's in TNA and TNA. But they've had, obviously they had the stuff with FTR, and I think one of the underrated things about that pick too is the single stuff that you're going to get, especially Kevin Knight's most recent C2 run, the match with Kyle Fletcher, the match with Darby Allin. But it's just been really cool to see two guys come in, and essentially their role is, can you guys give us 13 or 14 minutes on TV every week and have an exciting match? And every single time the answer has been yes. They've answered the call. They've been a real bolt of lightning and energy to the shows, and it's been really cool to see them become a main act on AEW. And I hope that they win the tag belt soon or continue to be featured as prominently as they've been. They've been really, really fun all year. So,
absolutely, tremendous pick. And Jet Speed, as you said, the consistency they gave the TV. Caden, I know you wasn't surprised. I know you're pretty excited about Speedball coming in, but the Kevin Knight combination has helped them both a lot, right?
Yeah, it's a pairing that like I never really thought of when they both signed, but I think it's helped them immensely of like consistently getting them on television, especially with the way they introduce them. And I hope AEW kind of takes notice of that going forward, of like, these are two guys who signed who were very touted coming from other places, Speedball from TNA and Kevin Knight from New Japan, and they had a good little singles run to start in AEW, and then they paired them together and have like an established team now. And for a company that's kind of been struggling in the tag division over the last few years now, it's a really good idea of like, take these two single stars who are very good, but are going to obviously get lost in this very crowded AEW roster, and just create a team that like actually works together too, instead of doing like odd couple shit for a month or two. Like they've cemented them as a team. Yeah, it's a great pick by Adonis, and I'm glad. I like to see what they do in the future. I like that team a lot.
Caden Lee, your next pick.
Joe, I'm gonna go ahead and grab an angle. You know what? Actually, no, I'm not gonna grab an angle because I forgot that we're not doing wild cards as the last round.
Yeah,
right? We all do wild cards at the end. Okay, never
Yes,
mind. Then I'm not grabbing an angle right now. The last one of the territories I'm missing is Japan. And for Japan, I'm going to grab a man who is under 3 contracts with DDT, All Elite Wrestling, and New Japan Professional Wrestling. He's the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, the winner of the 2025 G1 Climax Tournament. I'm taking Konosuke Takeshita. Takeshita has had an interesting year working AEW and New Japan, and kind of like having to balance styles, especially in the last few months. He's been leaning a little bit babyface, but I've loved his work in Japan. I thought he had a really great G1 Climax, a really weird match with Evil that like was kind of bad to start, and then I ended up quite liking it towards the end. And I liked his match with Okada the other day at World's End. I think Takeshita is going to have a fantastic 2026. I'm really excited for him. But he did have a very good 2025, even though I think we're all kind of ready for that face turn so we can reach that next level.
I mean, at this point in the ball game, it's a steal, right? A guy for it to have that historic a year, to get them in round 4. I think the talent of Konosuke Takeshita goes without saying, Buster, right? I mean, it's the bloke is transcendent in that regard. I think, as Caden said, results-wise, I think there's a sense he actually has even more to offer, especially in AEW. But it was cool to see him go to Japan and play the role that I think a lot of us feel like spiritually is the right one, him as the top guy closing these shows in New Japan. It certainly feels right, you know?
Yeah, it definitely feels right. Your comment on it feels like he has even more to give and more to do. I couldn't agree more with that, because he is under it's not a dual contract, whatever it is, a Bryce
Triple
contract. Thank you. No company has been able to like take full advantage of him, you know? And I think the closest we've gotten is this IWGP World Title run for sure. He has all the tools to be the best wrestler in the world. Hopefully next year it's fully capitalized on by somebody.
I just love it. Speaks so much to how good he is that we're having this conversation and he already has a case, right? That tells you where he's at in terms of talent. So, great pick. Caden, obviously, we mentioned earlier the match with Bandido, right? And a plethora of things he produced throughout the year. I brought up the Goto match earlier. but a dominant player, no doubt, and a great pick here in round 4. Buster, where you headed?
I am going to Japan to take my angle. I'm going to take Tanahashi's retirement run. One of the bigger stories of the year, and something that's led to many emotional moments. And also, I mean, sick fucking matches. The Takeshita match from earlier this year. I know that was in the US, but whatever. The Yoda Tsuji match. The only other fucking Tana match I watched this year. However, the story of it all is really, the value that I'm taking here.
Absolutely. Tanahashi, it's been a pretty moving thing to follow. Such a dignified pro wrestling legend. By the time people are seeing this, he will have had his final match, and hopefully that went incredibly. But it's been cool watching him one last time be the guy they turn to and lean on. He has given them a lot of main event matches.
Oh, he worked a fucking G1 this year.
I think there's numbers, he like 150 matches, somewhere in that range, I think he did.
Yeah, something like that.
And I mean, physically, he's in no place to be doing that. But that's
he should not be doing that.
Right? Of course, that's how he would do it, though, right? He ain't going to go out in any kind of glossy or Hollywood fashion. He's going to go out just doing Hiroshi Tanahashi things one last time. Caden, it's been remarkable watching him kind of find ways to stay engaging, stay exciting, and keep that drama that's defined his great matches with all those physical limitations. He can still do it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I knew Goto was going to be taken early, and if Takeshita was taken, I would have taken Tanahashi as my men's wrestler of the year from Japan. I think Tanahashi had such a good year with all the circumstances around it too. Like, he is old, his knees are destroyed, yet this man had more interesting matches to me than 95% of the other wrestlers in the world who are like healthy and also very good. Like, he was able to tell a story in them and use his abilities to his advantage in a way that, like, when Kenny Omega eventually does a retirement run, I hope he looks at what Tanahashi did this year and kind of learns from that. He did everything the correct way, and that steel cage match was awesome. Oh my god.
Yeah. There was a lot of cool moments where he kind of got his flowers, right, so to speak, and there's a reverence for him, there's an admiration, there's an adoration, I think, for Hiroshi Tanahashi that, to be honest, for me personally, is actually a little bit of an outlier in that, pro wrestlers come and go, right? That's part of the game, and I think we're about to gear up for a lot of legends leaving the business.
Yeah.
Tanahashi brings out, there's a warmness to people that love Tanahashi, there's a warmness they feel towards him that I find to be kind of fascinating. And I put myself in that camp, by the way. I expect to be emotional as he bids farewell. I agreed with our great friend, the Big LG, when he appeared on the Late Night Grin, which is a very good podcast. He said he thinks it's kind of a bummer that Cena and Tanahashi were both like even though it's cool when kind of romantic they mirrored each other, it kind of took some of the headlines away from Tana.
For sure.
Because of course it did. Cena's fame is obviously immense, but I think when it comes to the Tokyo Dome, we're all going to be ready, right? I think
I can't wait.
Yeah, I think the attendance speaks to that, right?
That warm feeling for me, at least, comes from I didn't start watching New Japan until 2016 at Wrestle Kingdom 10.
Yep.
So that, I had seen wrestling outside of WWE at that point, but nothing from Japan or anything like that. And that just opened the floodgates, so many memories of just finding new matches, new wrestlers, because I watched Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles, and then also Hiroshi Tanahashi and Kazuchika Okada from that night. And it just, because of Tana and the other guys as well, it changed my wrestling fandom. My life, really.
Well, it speaks to the greatness of Tana. Your first night as a fan is really the end of him as the ace, right?
Yeah.
He's already kind of, it's in, the whole point was they were wrestling for that control, him and Okada. But that's the night where Okada gets the job done at the Dome, and it goes into his era. And it speaks to the greatness of him. You still have that affinity for Tanahashi because he contributed so much beyond that time. In some ways, I think did some of his best work, actually. I think, maybe not his absolute best, but certainly in the conversation, the great man, Hiroshi Tanahashi, a worthy pick here, his retirement tour, going to Team Buster. Fellas, you may have noticed my spirits lifted moments ago. This has worked out just wonderfully for me. I have 2 tag teams I'm looking at. 2 tag teams I'm looking at right now.
Oh, I wonder who.
And I have an opportunity here, but I have a decision to make. Because I can have them both in different ways.
Yeah.
Because I have an angle to get. And I have a tag team to get.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what I'm going to say here may seem unorthodox, but it will make sense once I explain it. So I'll start, because I have to, because I'm following the rules. Am I breaking the rules here? Because Caden's grinning at me, and I'm concerned I'm breaking the rules again. I think I'm innocent.
I think you're good.
You're innocent. Yeah. You're innocent so far.
Yeah.
It's just funny.
My AEW pick is actually going to go to Angle of the Year. FTR's heel turn
Hell yeah.
was sensational. Wow. Oh, shit! Oh, fuck!
Oh yeah.
Oh,
baby.
Oh, they went much more direct with it than I was anticipating, but it was a
Yeah,
fucking
me
pole.
too.
Oh my god, he's getting a chair!
Concerto.
He's getting two concerto.
Oh, I'm so ready for them to be heels, bro.
Hands
They're
up the
gonna
chair,
be-
Dex.
And Cash has got to get in on the act here.
Oh yeah, he's got to give him the chair.
Cash
Do
needs
it.
to be the one to do the chairto, right?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Look at
yeah.
Dex's face! Dex is a fucking... Dex looks like he's lost his mind. Son, it's time to make a choice. I think it's actually like, of course I would, but I think it is underrated. Like,
Yeah,
Cash
I
Wheeler
agree.
was on fire, dude.
Bro, the
Oh,
neck
yeah.
brace.
He couldn't wait to turn heel. He was so excited.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah! Let's fucking go!
Yes!
The boys are back in town. Oh my god!
Oh,
A spike on the chair?
The energy of that whole thing, they got like genuine heat. The collisions after that, the people were very, very mad at the
Yeah.
FTR for turning on Adam Copeland, or Cope, I should say.
It's out of
It does-
again, right?
I don't know, who cares? It does feel ridiculous to go with them as the angle and the team we're about to go with as just the team. But I actually think it works for this because, like,
Yeah.
that angle was cool, right? And Caden, I remember we were watching it on the air and we were losing our shit for that. It was awesome, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That heel turn was fantastic. That was my first choice at Angle besides like the Cena heel turn. So I knew you were gonna like. I knew once we got to this point, you were easily going to be able to take that, and so I started pivoting a little bit. But yeah, that turn is so good. I rewatched it a few minutes ago when I was like making sure that's what I wanted to take like 30 minutes ago. Oh my god, it's so good.
Here's Novin. The boys were back in town, bro. They were wrestling every week as heels, and they were up through all their old tricks. It was a fun watch for us, wasn't it?
Every time they come out in Collision and have their match, it's just always you're learning something new. You know, you're seeing something you don't normally see on the TV. And it's been a while since I've seen it from them because they've been babyface for so long. It just felt like a return to form. Everything that I want them to be is heel, and I want to give a little shout out to. We all were very skeptical of it. Stokely Hathaway with the team has worked very well as well, and he deserves some love for this run as well.
It's really worked. They feature Stokely well, and Stokely delivers every time. Took a hilarious bump at World's End. Hopefully he's okay. That was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. I mean, really, it was.
I mean, yeah.
So in terms of the matches, obviously, you're looking at, what they take with them. We mentioned Bandido earlier. Underrated stuff. Like, I thought the stuff with Billington and Priest was like
It was so
electric.
sick.
so
One of
fun.
my favorite TV stuff from the year.
Yeah. They did some really good stuff. Dax obviously has some single stuff to boot with Kevin Knight and Garcia.
Yeah.
They had a really strong year. But they're not my tag team pick.
Wow.
So my options here was I could either do that angle, or my angle could have been like the Charlotte Alexa saga, right?
Mm.
But that would have felt like a cop-out, because I want to actually talk about it. They've come up a lot tonight. I'm picking them as a straight-up tag team,
Beast
Charlotte Flair and
mode.
Alexa Bliss, because inside those ropes, I don't think they get enough credit because the focus is all on their dynamic and their chemistry and the odd couple and Charlotte's kind of return to, honestly, acclaim, right? The people being with Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss being back in the ball game after 2 years away. So much goes into the narrative. I actually think it's a good chance to spotlight what they've done inside the ropes. How many times have they come up as opponents as we've been going through this draft, right?
Yeah.
It isn't a coincidence. I think Charlotte Flair is really well positioned to contribute best as a tag team wrestler. I think her ability to make a big, booming hot tag, her star power in that setting. Alexa Bliss is a legitimately good babyface in peril. Adonis said it earlier, the Bayley Lyra tag is one of the best WWE TV matches of the entire year. And I mentioned the Rio match. I like the stuff with Judgment Day. There's a lot of good stuff in there. Adonis, they are so, celebrated for the narrative elements. But inside the ropes, they have delivered, right?
Yeah, one of the more underrated matches, I think you just brought up the team, but SummerSlam Night 1, when they win the actual tag belts, I've been to a couple of wrestling shows this year. That's one of the loudest pops of any of the shows I've been to, was when Alexa wins the belt for them in that pin. That match is just a really well-structured, well-paced match. And I think what gets lost is they have actual tag team matches, which feels like a weird statement to make, but their matches are legitimately structured around the hot tag. They're structured around cutoffs, comebacks, feeding off the energy of the crowd. Charlotte has never looked like she's having more fun in her life. Alexa, it feels like a bit because it's LNG, but she's actually just a straight up good wrestler. She knows how to utilize her size to help narratives of matches. And like you said, Joe, a great babyface in peril. It does get lost a lot that their catalog, I mean, they've only been a team for maybe 5 months-ish, something around those lines. What
about Evolution? What about Evolution?
I mean,
that four-way was awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome four-way.
Oh, dude, the four-way was sick. The TV match on SmackDown with Zaruko, I thought was really, really good as well.
Yep.
They're just a really consistent, steady act. And another, I mean, they main event a lot of these TVs. That gets lost too. A lot of times the TVs are built around, the Rio match that we just brought up. The show starts off with a promo segment between those two teams, building to that match as the main event. And there's very few acts in wrestling this year, especially stateside, where you can say they're the consistent main event. They have been the consistent main event on Raws, on SmackDowns. Hell, they even did a fucking NXT cameo, for the homecoming show. They've been everywhere, and it's been really cool to see how both of them have kind of had their own rejuvenations in a way. Alexa had the great return at the Rumble, and then she kind of floundered a bit, but they both found each other at a point in their careers where I think they both really needed each other, and the crowd's taken to them. It's been really cool to see. They've been awesome. Great pick.
Definitely a neat story. Both coming back at that Rumble and going on very strange paths to the point of being a team. But I'm happy to have them on my squad, obviously. Getting Charlotte and Alexa and FTR. Guys, what do I do to deserve you fellas? I mean, really, come on. What a great night it's been. What a great LNG moment. I'm loving it. Terrific stuff. Buster, your final pick.
I'm going to go to TNA for my pick, my wild card pick. I'm going to take my match. I'm going to take Javon Evans versus Leon Slater. I know the match ended like shit. Don't get me wrong.
No, it was awesome. Yeah.
It
However,
was a phenomenal match.
For the time that the match was actually on, and we weren't expecting. What are their names? What's the name of that faction?
Dark State.
We weren't expecting Dark State to ruin it. It was a legitimate moment where it felt like, maybe wrestling's not going to go to shit when all the legends leave. Two younger workers in there that were working a genuinely really good and also smart psychological match. It was a lot of fun. One of my favorite Grinalong experiences of the year for sure. Incredible stuff from both guys.
It's a good pick, but man, am I disappointed. I thought you were about to bust out some fucking system something really. Yeah, I said bust out, but in that case, it deserved it. I mean, I was just so... I thought you were going to be like, I'm going to take the Hardys, but I was so ready.
No.
Damn.
I'm here to win this shit.
Those guys are so talented, man. I mean, they're the future, right?
Yeah.
The gym, they're the future. Yep, love the pick. I was just so thrilled to see how Leon Slater's doing. And obviously, Javon is... I mean, last week, he was doing house shows with Gunther. It gives you an idea of where he's at.
He's doing them tonight. He wrestled them tonight.
Yeah, but this is taped. It's taped.
Right, my bad.
Yeah. That was last week.
I don't know how times work, bro. I'm fried. I don't know what's going on.
That's a lack of WCW television tape and understanding. All right, Caden, your final pick.
Yeah, for this one, I had a few options that I was kind of looking at, but I wanted to give props to somebody who she didn't get to finish out her year. But Naomi, I'm gonna go with Naomi's heel run as my angle for my wild card. Her heel turn with Bianca Belair, I thought was an awesome segment. I love that segment, and the cash in specifically that she has is one of my favorite moments of the year. I'm really happy that she was able to get something like that and get the time to establish her character. There's moments I don't necessarily love. I'm not a big fan of the Jade match at WrestleMania. I know people like it. It's not for me, but her having a world title run in 2025 is awesome. I'm very happy for her that she was able to go away on her own time and is making the decisions she wants to make. But I'm excited to see if she does come back, what she gets to do, because she found her rhythm like as a character, and yeah, she rules. Naomi's awesome.
One of the things I have fun about this, and this is something we just talked about with Charlotte and Alexa, is this isn't necessarily like you're picking a collection of great matches with a wrestler, right? It's like Naomi is an amazing story. Obviously, right now for real life reasons, but in pro wrestling, when she won that title, her longevity, I think, is one of the most understated, underrated things in the whole industry. I mean, when her and Sasha walked out, when her and Mercedes walked out, if you'd have told people then Mercedes was going to go on to do world domination, you'd have gone, yeah. If you'd have said that Naomi is going to go outside, prove herself outside, and then come back and win the world title, and have, you know, a moment to close Evolution 2, and to hang in there with talent like Io and Rhea and Belong, I think it's astounding what she's done. And just a ton of admiration for her career. She had a really, really cool year with a ton of great moments. I love the pick, Caden. I love the pick. So, Naomi's heel turn it is. I love it. Tremendous stuff. Caden Lee. There we go. Adonis, how you closing out, mate?
Yeah, so I got my match left, and I'm gonna, we talked about John Cena, we talked about Tanahashi. Another legend who retired this year was Meiko Satomura, and for my match, I'm gonna go with her retirement match. It was her Manami versus Aja Kong and Chihiro Hashimoto. One of the most emotional and beautiful matches of the entire year, a celebration of Joshi wrestling as a whole. Meiko is another person who I don't think gets enough credit for how long she's been in wrestling. I mean, she was on WCW Nitro, and like she was having some of the best matches of her career and of the year to start the year. Her retirement run obviously wasn't an entire year like Tana's or Cena's, but it was still packed with so much quality. Obviously, the Hashimoto singles match, the Cerise singles match. But for me, where this match really stood out to me is it brought Meiko and Aja Kong in a ring together one final time. I think it's one of the best rivalries in wrestling history. And so I think it's really cool that she got to have that sort of chapter closing with her greatest rival as like her career closer. And obviously all the different videos that like Io had a video, Kyrie had a video, and all the streamers and all that stuff. I thought it was just such a well executed retirement ceremony. The match itself I thought was really, really good. Meiko was still incredible even as she was winding down. So I'm really happy to get this. It also covers Japan, which was the territory I had not gone to yet. So I'm going to go with Meiko's Bye-Bye as my match.
Is that your final pick?
That was my final pick, yeah.
Had you not gone to Japan before?
No.
So what was your picks?
No.
Hang on a second. We have more cheating. What was your picks?
Blue Panther, Mercedes, Cena, and Jet Speed.
So Mercedes and Jet Speed is a double up.
We have more cheating. Caden Lee, get a flag on the play.
What? No way.
Wild card has to close, bro. It has to be a double to close.
Oh. That is wait a minute. Wait.
No. You doubled up on Jet Speed, or you doubled up on AEW with Jet Speed and Mercedes.
Yeah, I don't think any of us were going to take Jet Speed.
Oh my god, that's right.
Still.
Oh,
yeah. Spirit of the game.
I mean,
Caden, it's one thing when I cheat and it's gamesmanship clearly and I'm in on the joke, but that was just outright cheating. You can't have that.
No, I
let's just flip it.
That was great. Okay. No, I can take somebody else. That's fine. I can take somebody else. Oh,
I think
crazy.
no. You
can
can't
we flip it in editing.
No. You just let it's Jet Speed. It doesn't matter. I'm just But
I didn't even realize.
I'm now of the belief this program should it should have the intro. Yes, it should have the piss. Yes, it should have the thing. I think it should actually have like a disclaimer of the state we're in. We recorded this because this has been a great time, but man, have we been on one tonight? Bro.
I agree. However,
It's
not a big deal because like, it
doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I think on the LNG we need to stand for justice, and clearly Adonis is cheating, and we deserve justice for that. He fucked us. Caden Lee could have picked Jet Speed at any moment, and he didn't get the opportunity to. And it's because of Adonis.
Guys, look, this is the fairest and funniest thing we can do. Let's be honest, Adonis. I think you'll accept this. With your picks, you're probably not going to win the poll. Would you agree?
I agree. Yeah.
Caden Lee, I'm feeling a 4-man poll, bro. What do you think?
No. I think that is justified punishment.
No, look, that's actually funny as fuck. I think that's actually fucking hilarious.
No.
We're ripping the young guy, bro.
No.
I disagree.
We have to do it.
There's something about a bloke getting disqualified for picking jet speed that speaks to my soul. I'm sorry.
We have to do it.
I love that there's 5 of us here. There's been
fucking
multiple
Oracle
instances of
get really
cheating, and at no point has anyone
and then it'd be like
stopped
justice
it.
because I got disqualified.
All right. Anyway, the match was
I'm
awesome.
okay with that. That's fucking hilarious.
Your bald stays it was. The Maker match on I reviewed. It was great. What a fiasco. Novi, with mercy, please put us out of our misery.
No worries, Joe. I'll settle us down. I'll take control of this match because I'm with my wild card. I'm going to the storyline. I'm going with Adam Priest's arc this year, him becoming the DPW champion and then losing it to Jake something as he returned back to glory in the same place he won it the first time at Super Battle. Adam Priest has been on AEW TV, and I think he stole the hearts of many people who didn't see him on DPW. But DPW is where his home is, and it's where he's at his best. He's just a little shit, and the whole roster hates him. The commentary hates him. The fans fucking hate him. It's very spiritual. It's very beautiful. And him just kind of dominating and cheating at every turn to keep that title and eventually having nowhere to run in the cage match with Jake something, like I mentioned, is glorious. It's what professional wrestling is all about. Yeah, and obviously I was there for a lot of it too, so it meant a lot to me. So yeah, I'm going with Priest DPW champion.
I love closing out of a true wild card. I love closing out of an example of someone being in attendance, supporting pro wrestling. That's very cool. Adam Priest had a great year, and I love that cage match Jake sent where it was like he'd finally been trapped. You know, it was old school pro wrestling. I absolutely loved that. Mm-hmm. So it's so I guess for Anger, the best way to describe it would be like the comeuppance of Adam Priest.
That would be good, yeah.
Yes, that feels fitting. And a great way for us to close out. Who is left sitting at home going, where am I on this? The Young Bucks have got to be feeling that way, right? Kyle Fletcher, did Kyle Fletcher come up in did he get a match? Was he?
I was looking at the Kyle Fletcher and Moxley match, but when Novi took Mox and Hangman, I couldn't take it.
Ospreay, obviously, same reason, didn't go.
Mm-hmm.
Any others? Suri?
Yeah, Suri, Mayu, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, some interesting ones for sure. Some very, very interesting ones.
Cody Rhodes.
CM Punk.
Fucking sucks.
Just missed him.
Just a bit outside. All right, fellas, let's run down.
Cody was actually in the Cena angle. My bad.
He was in that, yeah.
My bad.
Travis Scott.
Cody. What was his name?
Cody
roller
Rhodes.
Coaster. My bad.
Yeah, roller coaster.
The roller coaster.
All right. Let's run down these teams. For my match, I took MJF and Mistico, the Bloodbath, Marina, Mexico. My male wrestler, I took Hirooki Goto. My female wrestler, the great Io Sky. For my angle, the FTR's heel turn. And for my tag team, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, the Allies of Convenience. Buster, what you got?
For my male wrestler, I took Bandido. For my tag team, I took Galeon Fantasma. For my lady grappler, I took Lyra Valkyria. For my angle, I took Tanahashi's retirement run. And for my match, I took Javon Evans versus Leon Slater from TNA Bound for Glory 2025.
Caden Lee.
For my tag team, I chose Mascara Dorada and Neon. For my match, I took Mariah May and Toni Storm. For my women's wrestler, I chose Rhea Bloody Ripley. For my men's wrestler, I took Konosuke Takeshita, and for my angle, I chose Naomi's heel run.
Adonis.
So with my male wrestler, I took Blue Panther. For my angle, I took John Cena's heel turn. For my women's wrestler, I took Mercedes Moné. For my tag team, I unknowingly took Jet Speed. And for my match, I took Meiko Satomura's Bye Bye.
Tremendous. Novi, take us home.
For my male wrestler, I picked Hechicero. For my match, John Moxley versus Hangman Page from AEW All in Texas. For my women's wrestler, Saya Kamatani. For my tag team, Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan / Roxanne Perez. And then for my angle / storyline, I picked Adam Priest comeuppance in DPW.
Fellas, it's been real. It's been fun. This lineup can never, ever be repeated for an LNG draft. Thank you. Good night and God bless you all.
I think it's been good. It's just...
It was great. It was great. It can never happen again.
You don't...
Thanks for watching, folks. Please like the video and subscribe for more grins. To join us live almost daily, head to Late Night Grin, hitting the join button for exclusive watch-alongs, wrestling history lessons, and live Q&As. Keep grinning, folks. All hail.
For my tag team, I took the El Sky team combination of Mascara.
Sorry, that was on me. There's something about El Sky team that just doesn't. I can't. I don't know what it is.
Also, the way you started that.
It was very formal. I liked it. It was just it made me laugh. All right, Caden.
Can you really get the L? Can you do that next time?
No.
No.
That's going to extend this session considerably. All right, Caden, when you're ready. Blimey.
For my tag team, I took Mascara Dorada and Neon, members of El Sky team.
He did it. He did the L thing.
Don't do it. Just say El Sky team.
He went El Sky team.
El Sky team.
Don't know how hard it was for me to go Raquel Rodriguez.
Oh, no, I saw.
Dude, I want